What's up guys, Perry from Rockville here, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your rock cart off-road. So the cart itself comes fully assembled, so we don't have to worry about putting any pieces together. So the first thing we can do to set up our rock cart is lift up the handles. We'll start by lifting up the front handle, which is right underneath the caster wheels here. So we're just going to take the handle and lift it up past the pressure point here. When you feel a little bit of that pressure, you're gonna keep pulling up until you hear this click sound. And then you're gonna do the same thing for the back handle. So just lift it all the way up until you hear that click. Now when pushing the cart around, we recommend that the caster wheels are in the front because it gives us the most control to move it around or to turn it. There's also these brakes here on the caster wheels to keep your cart from moving around whenever you're loading it up or taking equipment off. We can control the brakes using these levers here, so whenever we want the brakes to be on, we're gonna push on the side that says on, and whenever we want the brakes to come off, we're just gonna push on the side that says off. So we can use the payload as we see it now to transport our gear, but we can also expand it if we wanna bring even more. To do that, you're gonna look for these knobs here on the bottom of the cart. Once the knobs are loosened up, you can take each end of the cart and push it out like so. You can expand it however long you want, but if you wanted to expand it all the way out, you're just gonna keep pushing until you hear this click sound. And once you have it set to the length that you want, you're gonna tighten these knobs to lock it in place. Whenever you want to contract the cart, you're just gonna follow these steps in reverse. So you're gonna loosen the knobs again, push down on this metal piece here in the middle of the cart, and then bring each end back in like this, and then tighten the knobs to lock it in place. To contract the handles, we're gonna use these foot levers here on each end of the cart. So we're gonna start with the handle on the back of the cart. So we're gonna push down on the lever and bring the handle down just like this. And then we're gonna do the same exact thing with the front handle. So push down on the foot lever and then bring the handle down just like that. Another cool thing is the cart can also act as a hand truck. If you want that set up, you're just gonna push down on the front handle like this. And from here, you can lift up the front of the cart and use the other half to carry your equipment. Now there's 5 different accessories that we can add to the cart if we wanted to bring even more equipment. The cart ACC is an accessory bag with all these different pockets here, and we can fit this over either of these handles on the rock cart off-road. So to attach the bag to your cart, you're just gonna look for this first opening here on the bag and slide it over either of these handles. For today, I'm gonna use the front handle here. Slide that section down and make sure that this second opening here on the back also goes over this handle like this, and then guide the bag all the way down until it can't go down any further. What's nice is that on the back, you can still access the handle on top here, and then you can use any of these bags to hold items like your cables, microphones, mic clips, lighting gear, etc. And to remove it, all you're gonna do is lift the bag up and just slide it off just like that. And what's also cool is that you can keep the bag on and still bring the handle down just like this. Just make sure when you raise the handle back up that the bottom of the bag doesn't get stuck to the bottom of the cart. You can also attach your cart stand bag in order to bring bigger items like speaker stands and attach them by the handles of the cart. To add this bag to your cart, you're just gonna look for this first opening here on the back of the bag and slip that onto either handle. For today, we're gonna use the front handle. Once that one is through, you're also going to do the same thing with these top slips just like this. What's nice is that you still have access to the top of the handle through this opening here. From here, you can open up the top of the bag by unbuckling this buckle here. Then you can insert your items like your speakers, speaker stands, etc. Then you can close the bag back up by using the buckle here. And you can secure the top of the bag by pulling on this strap here. Then to remove the bag, you're just gonna pull it up like this and take it off the handle. We can also attach our cart wag to our cart, and this allows us to carry bigger items and keep it all enclosed. For this setup, we're gonna want to expand the cart all the way out. And again, to do that, you're going to loosen these knobs on the bottom of the cart. Once they're fully loosened, we can take each side of the cart and pull it out just like this. and you're gonna wanna pull it out all the way until you hear this clicking sound. Then be sure to tighten up these knobs to lock it in place. It may also help to engage the brakes for the cart so it doesn't slide around while you're attaching the bag. So now that our cart is fully expanded, we can attach the cart wag. So we're gonna take each end of the bag and we're gonna look for these openings here on each side. Starting with the front end of the bag, we're just going to slide it through the front handle just a tiny little bit. Then we're gonna do the same exact thing with the other end of the bag. So just slide it on a tiny little bit to the other handle. And once it's settled just like this, we can bring each end all the way down so that it's completely on the cart. We also have these buckles here that help enclose the bag, so we can open these up while we're placing items inside. Then we can place our items right inside of this opening here. This can range anywhere from your speakers, speaker stands, lighting trees, etc. And once you have everything inside, you can buckle these straps back up, and you can even pull on these straps to keep it enclosed. Then to remove the cart wag, you can just pull up on each side like this, fold it up, and then you can bring your cart back to normal size if you want, or leave it just like this. Now we can also attach items to the cart like the rock floor here, which will keep items more stable when we're using the cart to travel around. So the cart floor comes in two different pieces. So we have the longer piece that can attach to the cart when it's contracted like this. And it also comes with a smaller panel that we can attach along with the longer panel when the cart is fully expanded. So to attach the panel to the cart when it's contracted, you're gonna line up these grooves here to the inside of the payload, just like this. You'll also notice the grooves have these latches here, and this is what's gonna keep the cart floor secure to the cart. So while the cart floor is on, we're going to twist these latches in like this, so that the cart floor latches on to the payload of the cart. It may also help to engage the brakes for the cart so that it doesn't move around while attaching the cart floor. So like I mentioned before, you can use both of these panels for the cart floor while the cart is fully expanded. So to expand the cart, you're gonna loosen up these knobs on the bottom of the cart. Then you're gonna pull on each side of the cart until it's fully expanded, and you'll know it's fully expanded when you hear this clicking sound here. Then we're gonna follow the same exact steps as before. So we're gonna take our first panel and put it on the payload like this. Then we can take the second panel and place it right next to the first one, just like that. Again, if the floors aren't going all the way down, make sure that the latches are inwards like this. Then once you have both panels placed on the payload, you're gonna take the latches of each groove and place them in like this. And again, this will keep the panels secure to the payload. From here, you can place your items right on top, and again, you'll find that it's much sturdier because of the cart floors. To remove these panels, we're just gonna follow these steps in reverse. So we're gonna bring in the latches of each groove on the bottom of each panel. Then we can lift up on each panel like this and just take it off the cart. Another accessory we can add to the rock cart off-road is the cart shelf, which adds a completely new row to the top of the cart to transport even more gear. So the cart shelf comes with two different panels. So we have this longer panel here that we can add when the cart is contracted, and we have the shorter panel that we can add along with the longer panel for when the cart is fully expanded. It also comes with two additional hooks that we add to the longer panel or the shorter panel, depending on the setup. And then we have 4 butterfly screws to secure the shelf onto the cart. So first, let me show you how to add the shelf when your cart is contracted. So you're gonna take these hook pieces here and make sure that they mirror the hooks on the other end of the panel. Before attaching these hooks, we're gonna want to loosen these wing screws here. Then we can slide in our hooks and make sure again that they mirror the hooks on the other end. Once you have the hooks placed inside, we're gonna tighten these wing screws to secure them. So from here, we're gonna take the hooks on each end of our panel and line them up to these holes on the handles of the cart. And you'll see we have 3 different rows of these holes. So we have 3 different options on the placement of the shelf. So we can either place the shelf all the way to the top, in the middle, or more towards the bottom. For today, we're gonna set up our shelf to the middle here. To do that, we recommend taking each side of the panel at a time and setting it up. So we're gonna start with this side of the panel. So first, I recommend taking these hooks here and guiding them towards the inside of each handle, just like this, and line them up to whichever row of holes that you wanna use. To prepare for this setup, you can also take each butterfly screw here and take off the wing nuts on each end, just like this. Then you're gonna take your butterfly screws and run them through the holes of your hooks and of the holes on the handles. Then you're gonna take your wing nuts and secure them on the other ends of your butterfly screws to keep it secure. And just like that, you have your shelf attached to your cart so you can place items on top and on the bottom. To take the shelf off, you're just gonna follow these steps in reverse. So we also have the second panel that we can use when we have the cart fully expanded. So to expand the cart, we're gonna loosen these butterfly screws on the bottom like this. Once they're fully loosened, we can pull each end of the cart and fully expand it like this. And be sure to pull them all the way out until you hear this clicking sound. Now to use the second shelf, we're actually going to attach it to the longer shelf here. To do that, we're gonna loosen the butterfly screws on the bottom of the longer shelf. Then we're gonna take the second panel and line up these arms here to the openings of the first panel and slide them in just like this. Then once it's attached, we're gonna tighten these butterfly screws to lock the two panels in place. So just like we did with our last setup, we're gonna take the hooks on each end of our combined panels and line them up to any of these rows of holes along our handles. Again, for this demo, we're gonna set them up to the middle row. So again, we recommend lining up these sets of hooks first, and we're gonna guide them to the inside like this. And then that will be easier for the hooks in the back to line up to the other side. Next, we're gonna take our butterfly screws and run them through the holes of the hooks and the handles. Then we're gonna take our wing nuts here and screw them on to the other side of each butterfly screw. And just like that, we have our shelf all ready to go, so we can place items on the top of the cart and on the bottom of the cart. And if you add your cart floor to the bottom of your cart, you'll have the payload just as stable as the shelf on top. And if you ever want to take off this shelf, you're just going to follow the steps we just went over in reverse. So hopefully this showed you guys how easy it is to set up your rock cart off-road. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support team through phone or email. As always, I'm Perry from Rockville, and we'll see you guys next time.